The ctrlX core is the controller in our new ctrlX automation family, and it's available in a few form factors. This animation shows that it's really the same control wherever it resides, whether you have the PC-based version, whether you have the standalone control, or whether you have the drive-based version. The M3 is the version that's integrated into a ctrlX drive. That's the first version that was available. In late 2020, we received a batch of ctrlX Core M4s. That's essentially the standalone version of the same control, and that's what I'm going to demonstrate. So this is my ctrlX Core M4 demo unit, and you can see that it's very compact, especially width-wise. It's less than half of the width of an XM21 or XM22, and about half of it is comprised of just the heatsink. Here's how it looks next to an XM22 for comparison. Let's take a look at the interfaces on the front. First, we have the engineering network port. This would typically be used to connect your laptop or connect the ctrlX core to the machine network. Next, we have the EtherCAT master. This would be used to connect to EtherCAT slave drives or I/O devices. In this case, I have it connected to two InterDrive CSs that are configured as EtherCAT SOE slaves. So we can use the ctrlX core to control either InterDrives or ctrlX drives that are configured as EtherCAT SOE slaves. This third network interface could be used for different purposes. One example is that you could use the top port for the machine level network and the bottom port for the plant level network. And this could also provide the path to the internet for streaming IoT data, or for remote connection via the device portal, or for a VPN connection. So you have physical separation between the machine level network and the plant level network, each with separate IP settings, and this, along with the firewall app and VPN app, provides lots of options for security and connectivity. There's also a micro SD slot with two possible functions. One is that it can be used to extend the onboard memory, so more storage space for apps and data. This could be useful if the ctrlX core is hosting a database to collect IoT data, for example. The other possibility is that it can be used for backup and restore and moving files between devices. So you could back up the device to the card, take the card out, put it into another unit to replicate the settings, or to have it available as a recovery medium. There's also a USB-C interface at the top. This could be used for a USB mass storage device, or a USB to network Wi-Fi adapter, or for other USB expansion possibilities. And finally, we have the light pipe, which gives a simple, bold diagnostic about the state of the control, just like the ctrlX drives have. So red meaning faulted, yellow meaning warning, green meaning ready, and so on. Now let's go online with the ctrlX core. This is going to launch the web interface. And now we're presented with the main dashboard of the web interface of ctrlX core. And at this point, everything I would show you would be the same that I've shown in previous demonstrations with the drive-based version of ctrlX core. So I'm not going to go into all those details in this video, but I will point out a few aspects. Let's take a look at EtherCAT. Here you can see the two InterDrives that are connected to the device at address 1 and 2. EtherCAT has a base address of 1000. If we go into motion, we have an axis 1 and an axis 2 that are associated with profile 1 and profile 2. And here you can see that profile 1 is address 1001, profile 2 is address 1002. So that's how the connection is made between the EtherCAT drive and the motion axis. Now let's go to Axis Commissioning, and here we can test out motion. Let's go to number 2, and we'll give it power. That puts the drive into AF. And now we can run it. Now let's jog it again with the camera view open so you can see the motor turning. The last thing that I wanted to point out as part of this video is the backup and restore functionality. And this is a new feature introduced in version 1.6 of ctrlX Works. Here we have the capability to make a backup, which is going to store all of the apps, the configurations within the apps, the connection settings, the date and time, and various other settings all into one archive file. Then at a later time, we could restore this archive file to this ctrlX core for recovery purposes, or restore it to other ctrlX cores for serial machine commissioning. So now we have a convenient way to replicate the system or to restore a device to a known point in time if unintended changes occurred. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.